What's going on, guys? Eric Allen, owner of Top Rated MMA. For this show, I got to speak with Jennifer Marshall, who's a Navy veteran. She's also an ambassador for a great organization called Pinups for Vets. Plus, she's on the show Stranger Things. This was a great show. Check it out. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to jump on a call with me real quick. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you for the invite. Yeah, you crank these interviews out like nobody's business. I was on YouTube and I was like, holy cow, he's got a ton.
Keeps me busy for sure.
Wow, so you're on fire.
That's right. So you're an ambassador for a really cool nonprofit organization called Pinup for Vets. What's that all about? How'd you get involved with those guys?
So I'm a proud member of Post 43, the American Legion in Hollywood. Okay. And one day I was at a meeting and Gina Elise, the founder, came up to me and she said, hi, she said, have you ever thought about being in a poster? And I was like, what? She said, yeah, dressing up in pinup attire and being on a poster or maybe even in the calendar. And I was so shy and I just thought, no, there's no way that I would ever do that. And I was talking to my husband and he said, you know, this raises a lot of money for veteran and troop initiatives, and Gina is really involved in the veteran community, and I think it would be good. And if you could just kind of suck it up and deal with your insecurities for a couple of minutes, this would have a really good outcome. And he's right. He's totally right, and I'm so glad I did. So we visit veterans in the hospital, nursing home, and wounded warrior detachments, and sometimes we're the only visitors that they get, you know, for days, for weeks, sometimes their entire visit.
Wow. And the calendars are only $15. They've raised over $55,000. That's awesome.
Yes. It's a wonderful organization. And the best part is we'll go to people's bedsides and we'll start talking to them. And as soon as you realize, like, if they're Navy and I'm Navy, it's an automatic connection. It's already a connection being veterans, but the branch, it's always like, oh, okay, let's chat. It's
sure.
Great.
Well, thank you for your service too, by the way.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. And I was also reading on your bio that you also teach down in Uganda. That's pretty cool. How's that experience?
You know, it changed my life. I had traveled all over the world being in the military, and nothing had changed my life like living and volunteering in a village with no electricity and no plumbing. I came back and a lot of people said to me, oh, those poor kids, they don't have anything. And I said to them, they have so much. They may not have material things, but they have each other, and they have family, and they have clan, and they have song, and they have dance. And it was just such an amazing experience for me. I hope to go back next year again. It completely changed my life and my perspective on things.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife and I have gone down to Tijuana, Mexico, and we've built a couple houses down there. And just the perspective being down there, and these families have nothing but love singing and dancing, and like sleeping on dirt floors is fine with them, you know. And it's so awesome to just go down and be able to help people like that, you know.
It really is. And people say to me, you spend an awful lot of time volunteering. Isn't that kind of a drain on your time? And no, it's quite the opposite. I love helping people, and I'm not going to lie, it makes me feel good too. So it's a total win-win situation. It's never, ever a waste of my time. If anything, I prefer to do that over other things.
Yeah. You know, I try to be like the manly man, but you go down there and you end up booger crying because everyone's like so happy, and you're handing them keys to, you know, their new house and stuff like that. So very
grateful. Cool. Yeah.
I was reading that in 2014 you joined Veterans in Media and Entertainment. That seems like a really cool, another nonprofit that you're working with. How's everything going with that?
So it's great. In 2014, I joined the organization, and in 2015, I took over as the general manager. Okay. And I was the general manager for a few years, for a year, about a year before I had my son. Okay. And then, you know, children take a lot of time.
Totally.
It's an amazing organization. It helps veterans who are coming out of the military get a foot into Hollywood, because it's hard. We're already coming into the business later. So, you know, we're not the youngest. We're generally not the skinniest, not the most beautiful, not the most well-connected. But what I always tell vets is we can always be the hardest working. We're never going to be any of these other things. Yeah. But if anything, the military gave us a work ethic, an organization, and a way to kind of tackle the mission. So bring it to your acting, directing, writing, whatever career in Hollywood.
And I was reading, so you joined the Navy right out of high school. You did that for 5 years. You served. What made you decide to transition over to the acting side of things?
You know, it was kind of by accident. Okay. I had joined a musical theater group my last year in the Navy that was only on the base, and it was only open to military dependents, retirees. And then one of the guys in my group was on a commercial, and I said, hey, Dave, how did you do that? And he said, oh, I take acting classes at the studio. And so I said, well, why not? I'll just do it and see, if I like it. And the first 2 weeks I was there, I had an audition and I booked that. So wow, okay. It wasn't an intentional thing. I never thought when I was a kid, I'm going to grow up and be an actor. Like, sure. Who does that? That's not a thing.
Right, yeah.
For me, it wasn't anyway. I mean, I grew up in a small town and it just wasn't a thing. So yeah. It was kind of by accident. I just started booking and then I stuck with it and here I am.
That's awesome. Such a cool story. Do you care if we do some rapid fire questions real quick?
Sure.
All right, so I was reading that Stranger Things 3, it's coming out next summer, maybe, yeah. And it said that it's supposed to be better than season 2. True or false? I came across your list of skills listed on the LA casting website.
Oh gosh, you've done your research.
Bowling, razor scooter, mom dancing,
dancing,
belching, and hula hooping. Come on, those are awesome skills.
I got booked for a gig in a commercial where I had to mom dance.
Okay.
And then the belching thing, this is so embarrassing. There was a commercial back in the day where a guy belched the ABCs.
Okay.
And so for some reason it was like a thing where people said, can you do this? And I was like, well, I was in the Navy and I have 2 brothers. Yeah, I can do it.
That's awesome.
So thankfully I'm at the age now where people haven't asked me to do it. But when I was in my 20s, for some reason people would always ask me. And yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll come in handy for a gig someday.
Maybe. Do you have a favorite band or type of music that you listen to?
I love EDM. Okay. I love EDM. I run a lot and it just is perfect for running. So I have Sirius and I listen to Channel 51 incessantly. It's ridiculous. And when I go to Vegas, I hit up all the DJ shows and I just like it. It makes me feel good.
That's awesome. Last question for you is you were on the showcase for Price is Right and you won. And then I
did.
And then you were on Let's Make a Deal. What show was the most fun to be on?
Well, I can't say what happened with Let's Make a Deal. I can just say that I went to a taping and it was so much fun.
Awesome.
I would say that both of them were so fun because Drew was a Marine reservist. Right. So being on the Veterans Day episode was amazing. And it was kind of surreal, though. I was kind of out of my body the whole time. So I had to go back and watch the actual video. And then Let's Make a Deal. It's just this... It's like this infectious environment. You go on the show and everybody's so thrilled to be there and everybody has these amazing costumes and Wayne is so fun and it's just a really great thing living in Southern California because you can go to these game shows and be in the audience and it really makes for a good day.
That's awesome. Well, I also want to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to organizations you've been working with or anybody that's on your team or family and make sure they got a shout out on the video as well.
So I definitely want to give a shout out to Pinups for Vets. You can visit us on Facebook, Pinups for Vets, or pinupsforvets.com. Amazing, amazing organization. And I also want to give a shout out to an organization that I've worked with in a different aspect, and that's a Soldiers Project, the Soldiers Project. Okay. And the Soldiers Project connects veterans with long-term post-traumatic stress counseling. And the difference with this nonprofit as opposed to the VA is you are with one counselor for the duration of your treatment. At the VA, sometimes you can go from one person to another, and sometimes retelling that story from the beginning can kind of re-trigger those emotions. Yeah. So I love the Soldiers Project. Check it out online and donate if you are so inclined because they are doing amazing work over there.
Jennifer, thank you so much for taking time in your day to jump on a call. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
All right, well, have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching the show. Please subscribe to our channel. Would really appreciate that. If you could please give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. And please check back. We're always bringing on awesome people for the Top Rated MMA Show and entrepreneurs, world changers, and success-minded people for the Bearded Biz Show. Thanks so much. Have an awesome day.